my destiny is not only in my actions and thoughts, my family's actions and thoughts, but some third parties, irrelevant parties also can influence my destiny. Otherwise, how do you justify one man like Hitler killing more than 10 million Jews in a most cruel way? He burnt them alive. I think when we inherit in some way, conscience also, I think it has a socially cultivated element of our life. And there's another level of conscience, which is heart-based. Heart gives signals, even though your social patterns are saying something. But a heart which is elevated, evolved, will have its own conscience, will have its own language of expression. And that's why heart-based meditation will purify the conscience and will allow us to speak only which is pure, only which is worthwhile. That's why they say, when we have mind saying something and heart saying something, often it is said when heart speaks, it's your conscience speaking. And when both heart and mind are in agreement, it forms an eclipse of conscience. When both are in a different direction, that means there is something wrong. One has to rethink, reprocess the whole conscience versus your logic. Nevertheless, we have a filter. We have a choice to make. As they say, the beginning of our journey towards perfection or transformation starts with a simple faculty development, what we call discriminative faculty, to find whether this is good for me or not. Will this help me become better? Will the results of what I'm going to do will be good or bad for me? So I have to see the results before I act, before I think. At least by having this approach of filtering out what is good for me and what is bad for me, you have a more freedom and greater strength to stick to what is good for us. Best would be to hold on for a moment, pause for a moment, and then see, okay, not now, I'll get angry tomorrow, or I'll get angry after an hour. You're buying time and analyze the whole situation. And perhaps if it was your fault, you'll thank God. And this 1 hour to food over, like, thank God I didn't get angry. So this pause between arousal of anger and actually lashing out that anger is necessary phase. I understand anger with 3 stages. One is what happens to us before that and becoming angry. Second is during the phase of that moment of anger. And third phase is post getting angry. From a giver's side of it. From a receiver's side of it, you don't know when you're going to get affected by someone's anger. Because wisely or so, you may not have done anything for other person to get upset on you. Always, almost, the receiving side knows nothing about the other person, just casting him or act. So it's difficult to prepare oneself before receiving the anger part of it. During, of course, you become sad, and this lingers on after having a bout of someone's anger. That is not in our control. Other person's anger is definitely not my actions or in my control. I can do nothing about it. But certainly, me getting angry on someone or multitude of individuals, it's within my control. Sometimes it's necessary to express oneself and share your irritability or share your displeasure, but in a manner befitting your status. You must respect yourself. the moment we lose our ability to hold on to this emotion, anger, once we lose it, we are not in control of ourselves. We have to first analyze now the reasons behind anger. Is it worth it? Consider anger like a fire. Compare it with fire. It destroys everything very straight, including yourself. Imagine for a moment you're so happy, and suddenly certain situation makes you angry. Just few minutes before you were so cheerful, and now all of a sudden you have to become angry. Can this cheerfulness and anger go together? I doubt it. So you rob yourself of this happiness, cheerfulness, and you will not retrieve this cheerfulness for a long time. You'll perhaps be mad, oh, why did I get angry and lost this wealth of cheerfulness for a long, long time? Few hours, few days perhaps. And it leaves scars. Once this fire of anger is let loose, and you cast it upon your loved ones, did you notice anger is always towards your loved one? It's rarely towards any other person. But why? A real expectation comes into the picture. I expect such and such a thing from my loved ones. Otherwise, why would I love them? But then that's not a true love. Expectations, when they are failed, I expected something to be delivered this way, or I expected a gift, or I expected that you would pick me up from the airport, but you didn't even show up. You forgot that I was coming. Such things. And the worst thing is not just the expectations or failures of expectations, but insisting, demanding that my expectation must be fulfilled. Imagine the child goes to school. Papa is free. He is off day. But he insists. The child said, my mother must pick me up from school. I will not come otherwise. He would insist, he would demand. What will happen there? And if you don't show up and father goes, you might get upset. This demanding to be fulfilled, demanding that your expectations are fulfilled, is another disease. When cheerfulness is sacrificed and you start demanding things, the relationship starts, I think, falling. It starts crashing very fast. When cheerfulness is lost and you try to offer praise, try to do that. You will not be able to connect with your higher self. Your consciousness will not permit you to contact your higher self with such a polluted mind or with polluted intentions. So, not only do I shatter the relations in the worldly way, the family or friends or associates, but also I am now unable to connect myself with the higher self or with nature or with God. Just because of this tornado of fire we call anger. Anger casted upon others will definitely spoil the relation, but individually also it spoils our health. Especially a situation where, let us say, when you consider this a burning coal, anger, a burning coal, can you hold it in your hand? You can't. You can't throw it on somebody else also because it will burn other person. In any situation, it will burn someone. So what to do? Only solution I find is to allow this energy of anger to get sublimated into something else. When we wait a bit patiently, prayerfully, during that moment, which of course I do agree that it's so difficult, but there are moments, if you can take back that moment and say, okay, I will not get upset now, I will not be angry now, and you reflect on, you meditate perhaps, then what will happen? That anger will slowly change its face, will slowly change its color, it will become more compassionate. And more we practice this, you'll say, wow, I'm able to convert this ugly energy of anger into such a beautiful flower of compassion.
There are no real answers to such questions because my karmas, my destiny, is not just viewed by myself or by gods or God or goddesses, but my destiny is also in the hands of others, and especially Lord Rama's life. Could he have any samskars at all to have such a birth? He could not have formed any samskara since this was his first birth as an avatar. So he had no previous karmas that can make him suffer. Right? Now, when sage Vasishtha declared to King Dashratha that let's have the wedding of these two performed under this auspicious occasion, they are the best match. Their zodiacs, that astrological charts matches like no one's. They will have a happy, long life together. This was the trajectory based on the astrological charts and prediction of sage Vasishtha. Now, what happens here that his life was later on influenced by no less a person than Mother Kaikeyi, who was again influenced by a mere maid or a dasi, Manthara. So, Manthara influenced the greed at heart of Mother Kaikeyi that you should ask for the fulfillment of a promise which the king Dashratha promised you during one of those wars. So it's an opportunity for you to ask and ask for throning your son instead of throning Rama as a king. And she did not stop just there. She said rest of the time, at least 14 years, he should pass in the forest. I mean, was it not enough that he is dethroned, is to be dethroned and enthroned Bharat? But she went ahead, and so Raja Dashrath, because of his pride, pran jaye par vachan nahi jaye. I may lose my soul, but I will not move away from my promise. He fulfilled that, but having fulfilled that, he lost his life as well. His life came forward. I mean, the death came forward. He would have died much later. But because of this incident, influenced by somebody else. So my destiny can also be influenced by somebody. Ajay, for example, let us say you loved a girl whom you love so dearly and you'll die for her. But what happens there? Destiny brought you together. Eye to eye, there was a locking, and your heart also say, okay, this is my beloved, and she also considers you as beloved. But suppose her parents disagree that he's a film star and let him go. Because film stars also have some level of reputation. Some societies may not appreciate that, see. They all pay their price based on the decisions or the conditioning of the society or the community. So my destiny is not only in my actions and thoughts, my family's actions and thoughts, but some third parties, irrelevant parties also can influence my destiny. Otherwise, how do you justify one man like Hitler killing more than 10 million Jews in a most cruel way? He burnt them alive in millions. So it was not in their destiny.
Are you truly introvert or extrovert, or just out of balance today? The next video explores finding your right measure.